One business owner's worst nightmare finally comes to an end as the IRS gives in to public pressure. After 8 months, the IRS is returning the $107,000 it seized from one North Carolina store owner's bank account without even charging him with any crime. Just 2 days ago here on Money, Lyndon McLennan described how he felt when agents stormed his store.
It just leaves you numb feeling for a while. You just kind of have to, it knocks the wind out of you when they tell you that it's done something. They took your money, and in my case, I didn't understand why they were taking it.
The government still wants to keep the interest that it earned on the money since October. I'm joined by our own Dagan McDowell, Jillian Melcher of the Franklin Center, and Veronica Dagger of the Wall Street Journal. I mean, Veronica, let me start with you. What an improvement that he actually got the money back.
Maybe it's because he was on your show.
Well, we're definitely going to take credit for it.
Absolutely, but good for him. I'm glad he got the money back, but good for him for speaking up. How difficult is it to fight the federal government, especially when it comes to taxes? So I really appreciate what he did, because that was his money, his rightful money, and he got it back. That just shows the power of the media.
Jillian, he said it took 13 years to make this money and save it up in this bank account, 13 seconds for them to deplete it just because they thought they saw activity that was suspicious to them. He was making deposits that were near $9,000 at a time. They didn't charge him with anything. They didn't find any wrongdoing. Does this go on a lot?
Yeah, it actually does. I mean, I think it's completely terrifying that the federal government or state governments can seize your assets without charging you, without convicting you of anything. And there's been a major backlash against it. It's not just this guy. It's gas station owners, store owners, anybody who deals in a lot of cash and might tip them off.
No, but any individual taxpayer, if the IRS says that you owe them money, they can freeze your bank account. So you might not be able to seize your assets, but they can just freeze your bank account. One day you can't get money out because the IRS says that you owe them some money.
Yeah, or in this case, that they were just suspicious. No charges. Sure. They didn't even know of what. They just said, you know what, we don't like this, we're going to take it. Well, I'm glad that the situation has been righted.
The IRS is like a clown or like a smelly, angry leprechaun living under your bed. It's scary as you know what.
You know that it's not just the IRS. I mean, there have been stories about real conflicts of interest with this program where police departments are taking assets that
they're coming for you next, Dagan, by the way. Now, a few fender benders won't keep Google's self-driving cars from getting to play with all the other human-operated ones. The company announcing several that is unleashing of these autonomous cars on the public streets of Mountain View, California, near its headquarters. But don't worry, their speed will be capped at 25 miles per hour. That makes me feel a lot better. When I see a car driving around all by itself, it's only going 25 miles per hour.
And significantly below most speed limits, mind you. That seems actually unsafe on some highways on its own. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they've worked out the kinks with all of these. I'm glad they have a safety driver in the car with these automatic cars. Because, for now.
For now, although they say the cars have logged so many miles in test runs that it's the equivalent of 75 years of adult driving. It's like having a 75-year-old grand person. I don't want to insult anyone out there. Those people are good drivers, but I'm just saying.
If someone wasn't in danger of getting hurt, I would ram every single one of them with my Land Rover. It has a giant brush guard on the front, like a real beefy, burly brush guard, and I would ram them. It's just like Google Glasses for some reason.
It annoys you.
It just defies.
You're in a strange mood today, Dagan.
I said this other day. I really don't. I just think if you can't drive your own car, then you need to carpool with somebody.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. It's much more than a fender bender for ABC's chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, apologizing to viewers this morning for donating $75,000 to the Clinton Foundation and failing to disclose it. Take a listen.
Over the last several years, I've made substantial donations to dozens of charities, including the Clinton Global Foundation. Those donations were a matter of public record, but I should have made additional disclosures on air when we covered the foundation. And I now believe that directing personal donations to that foundation was a mistake. Even though I made them strictly support work done to stop the spread of AIDS, help children, and protect the environment in poor countries, I should have gone the extra mile to avoid even the appearance of a conflict. I apologize to all of you for failing to do that.
So this comes after he interviewed Peter Schweitzer, who is the author of Clinton Cash, and really went after him. And at the time, he obviously didn't disclose that he had given money to the Clinton Foundation. Could he have just said out of the gate, look, you're attacking the Clinton Foundation. I believe in it so much. I've even given them my own personal money because I believe in the work they do. Would that have satisfied this problem, or is he just too close to the Clintons?
You know, I think he is too close to the Clintons, but I think it would have been the ethical and the honest thing to do. I think he owed his viewers that explanation, and the fact that he didn't give it is a further blow to his credibility.
You know, this whole story, it's very interesting, Veronica, because he attacks Schweitzer for having written speeches for about a 4-month period for George W. Bush, but at the same time, he obviously worked for the Clintons, you know, was the face of the Clintons forever.
He's almost synonymous with the Clintons,
right.
You know, and it's interesting that I would think ABC News would have a real pushback on that. We haven't really heard so much from that, but their ethics department, I'm sure, is not happy with him. Most news organizations make you sign something, at least mine does, makes you sign something that you will not donate to political organizations, you will not lobby for one.
This is a charity, though,
it's
right?
a charity, but it's so closely associated with the Clintons. I would think the appearance of that would be very problematic. So I think his reputation probably is going to take a hit to this.
Doesn't that hit at the heart of the issue? Is it a political group or is it a charity? I mean, isn't that the problem that everybody has? That's why we're talking about the foundation.
No, the issue is that it's the Clintons, because he was associated with them. He worked in the Clinton White House, and for years he's been accused of lacking objectivity and gone out of his way to prove that he was an objective journalist. I mean, he's been appointed to lead all of the political coverage at ABC and all the breaking news coverage. This happened just recently. Right. So he's proving that there is a foundation for these accusations of him being biased.
All right. Thanks, guys. 6 years out from the recession and stocks are climbing to record highs, but many Americans still say it is far from over for their family. Plus, it's billionaire owner Warren Buffett. He chugs Coke like a 6-year-old, but that isn't stopping Dairy Queen from pulling soda off the kids' menu. More money and some sugary drinks coming up.